Oye, prepárate, 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 prepárate. Cógelo. Me voy pa' mi casa. Agua. Me voy pa' mi casa. Mira, niña, pero si tú quieres.
Hey, it's Brant 56, and I am in Havana, Cuba, in December 2019. Why is it Brant 56? Well, because my name is Brant and I was born in 1956, and I am spending my children's inheritance traveling around the world, writing a book while I'm doing it, and I'll tell you more about that at the end of this video. But for now, welcome to Havana. And I'm gonna do my usual, which is just meander around, almost unprepared. I did a little bit of advanced planning this time because it's a little bit more complicated getting into Havana, but not too much so. I mean, I really got in pretty easily, and have been walking about for a few hours and having an absolutely lovely time, I might add. Yes, and I just think this city is fantastic. Everything I've seen so far, this is part of the old Spanish architecture here, Spanish fort. And just everywhere I go, I just see one amazing thing after another. It's fabulous. And I might add, I feel very safe, and the reason is because I am. I've asked quite a bit about it, and people who know say, for sure, you're very safe. So I wander around, you see these little kids and families. It's 7:30, still kind of early, but the life of Cuba and the Cuban people, magnificent. I'm looking forward to sharing a little bit with you in this video. All right. Let's go. All right, before we get too far into this video, I want to give you the big picture of the city of Havana using this tattered paper map that was my trusty friend during my visit here. And you can see it's been all marked up and wrinkled, and I love it. But the first thing you'll want to know is that to the left is the sea, and this is the seawall. And then the city can generally be thought of in three sections, 1, 2, and 3. The top section is the Old Town. This is where most of the tourist attractions are, like the Capitol building and the Museum of the Revolution and the Art Museum. And there's lots of little bars and restaurants and cool little things to see. Great place to hang out at night. The middle section of the city, not too many tourist attractions, not as many services, but this is where my Airbnb was, and the distance from, say, the center of the center city to, say, the Capitol building is about a 10-minute walk. And then the bottom half, which is the post-revolutionary era, this is where you have a lot more of the modern buildings and so forth. There's almost no services that I could see down here, like restaurants or anything like that. The only tourist attraction that I know of was the Revolutionary Square. The distance from the Revolutionary Square all the way to the Spanish fort is a good 45-minute walk, I would say, through the city. And the distance from here to, say, the seawall is probably a half an hour, I'd say. So you can kind of get some sense of how big the city is and how it's organized.
Me voy pa' mi casa. Igual si me llamas, yo voy pa' la tuya. Si tú me llamas, yo voy. Igual tú me llamas y voy pa' la tuya. Si tú lo quieres, yo te lo doy. Caminando, ¿cómo te explico? Mamá, ¿qué será lo que quiere el negro? Tú lo sabes. Dame la comida, mamá.
I almost got flattened back there at a crosswalk because they actually don't have many crosswalks here. Take your chances. reminded me of a song from the 70s about dead dog on the side of the road. Dead possum, I think it was. Dead possum on the side of the road. Roll up your windows and hold your nose. Old cars everywhere. Man, these guys know how to take care of things, I'll tell you what. Makes you think about the whole consumer economy, where you just throw shit away, you know? You don't repair it because you just can go down to Walmart or Sam's Club and buy a new one. Not here, nah. But you don't see any auxiliary storage units here because nobody's gonna store anything, they're gonna use it. If it breaks, they fix it. That's why you see tucked into the little cubbies and stuff, you see these repair shops, guys running machines, you know, repairing stuff. It's really, I mean, I think it's kind of cool. This is a Central Park right in the heart of town, and very clean. See a tiny bit of litter here, but not too much. No graffiti. Beautiful, beautiful buildings, palm trees. We got the requisite statue with the pigeon on its head, which is found in every European city. And up there, some kind of a nice restaurant with some umbrellas. Yeah, very, very nice. Very nice. Ah, my first crosswalk. I like Havana a lot and would love to be alive in 100 years after a couple of $1 billion have been sunk into it, because this city truly is the Paris of the Caribbean. I would love to have been here in, like, I don't know, 1955, or when I was born in 56, when all these old cars were being brought in all shiny and new, and all the buildings were new. And, oh man, that would have been sweet. I mean, just look at these. I just love that. And you can see some of them actually have been restored, like this one here. And you see some netting over this one over here. So they're working on that one. But then you see a lot of them, they're crumbling down, you know, and they need a lot of help. So if you do the math, you're talking billions, if not trillions of dollars to restore this city to its former glory. Here is a construction project underway, restoring a beautiful old building. And, you know, I've been thinking that if the U.S. wanted to give a gift to Cuba, as kind of the way that Japan gave us the flowering cherry trees on our capital, we could come in and say, we're going to restore all of these sidewalks, every single inch of them, and make them nice. You know, wouldn't that be a nice gesture? I'm just saying. And since I'm just saying, I want to also point out that the cherry trees were given to us by the Japanese government just a few years before they bombed the hell out of us at Pearl Harbor. So you can give gifts and still have differences with another country, obviously. And I would just think it would be not that expensive and marvelous to see all this kind of stuff fixed. Oh, I'm gonna like this. The Museum of the Revolution. There's a bombed out US tail back there and a tank behind that green plane. And a couple old cars in there. That huge building that is being beautifully restored houses all the photos and history of the revolution, which took place mostly in the 50s, 60s. Che Guevara was killed in 1967. And really interesting, not really very anti-American, I'll say. It was mostly railing against the Batista government, which I take was some kind of puppet government backed by the U.S. and the CIA. You know, they really didn't like those guys because they claimed they were poisoning their pigs and their tobacco and all kinds of things. I didn't really pick up in any rancor against Americans. Other, you know, John Kennedy, they didn't like him too much because you know, he was barricading the island before the Cuban Missile Crisis and cutting off supplies of oil, and I had some heartburn over that. But in any event, I'm going to get to the good stuff now, which is all the big toys. Here's something I've never heard about. Apparently, a U-2 spy plane, an American U-2, was shot down by the Cubans in 1962 during the alleged Cuban Missile Crisis by one of these missiles. And this is the tailpiece from another U.S. plane, very proudly displayed here, along with a Soviet tank considered the best of its kind and used by Fidel Castro to fire the fatal shot at the American ship, the USS Houston. In the opposite direction of turning your swords into plowshares, this is where they turned tractors, farm tractors, into weapons of war. Well, now that I've been re-educated on how the imperialist U.S. and its puppet government tried to oppress the Cuban people, I think I'll try to go find some coffee and a piece of cake. Coffee, yes. Cake, probably not. Seems like bakeries are hard to come by in Havana. But we'll give it a shot. In the meanwhile, a tank. Yeah, I don't mean to sound snarky about the revolution. I get it, you know. It's like voltage, you know. If you have two poles that have a charge, the charge becomes too great between the two poles, it creates a spark. And that's kind of what happens with wealth. You know, if too much wealth gets accumulated by one pole and not enough by the other, there's going to be a revolutionary spark. And that's what happened here. That's what happens all of these places where people finally just say, "C'est bon," you know, enough. We're not just going to stand by and let a 1%, I guess you can say, accumulate all the wealth and live in splendorous mansions like that and dine on hummingbirds on gold plates while we're out in the fields starving and sweating our asses off. So, you know, I get it. And that's what caused the Russian Revolution, the Cuban Revolution, even the French Revolution, all of them, you know, all of these revolutions. Maybe there's another one coming. We'll see. Man, I've been walking around for almost an hour looking for a coffee shop where I can get a coffee and a piece of cake or a cookie or something. And it's just not easy to find that kind of thing here. And if I don't find it soon, I'm just going to have to switch over to beer. Because it'll be beer o'clock. Now I'm getting downright grumpy. Because people don't understand I'm addicted to coffee. I have one every morning and at 3 o'clock. It's 5 after 4. I'm late. Bring your own cookies if you come to Cuba. And maybe your own cappuccino machine. Ooh, this looks promising. If I come back in a month, this will be a coffee shop. Oh my God. I'm gonna cry. It's a coffee shop and a nice one. Woo-hoo. Hopefully there's no guard at the door. Now, here comes the good news. That cappuccino only cost me 65 cents. Well, that's pretty good. Wow. I'll take that any day of the week, even though I had to wait 20 minutes for it. So the more I think about my Marshall Plan to rebuild Havana's sidewalks as a gift from the United States, the more I like it. And I thought the perfect people to come down here and bust up all this concrete and replace it would be all these young Americans who think they want socialism. It would be a great opportunity for them to come and see how it's really working down here. So I ordered this beer via this table-side touchscreen display. I guess this is where they come to get their monthly ration of rice and beans and stuff. Probably rum, but otherwise shelves are empty. Spend a year down here working and get a feel for it, you know, see the pros and the cons. And, you know, like send the woke down, let them come down here. Yeah. Guess they don't like that idea too much. Oh my God! You have no idea what kind of eye candy this is for a guy like me, because I grew up with these cars. That's probably a 1956 Chevy, or what? But yeah, 57, probably a 53. God only knows what this beast is. Purple, check it out, man. Oh my God. It's beautiful. Yeah, I want to go for a ride on one of those, for sure.
Yes,
This
really.
is, okay, now first you got to tell me what we're riding in here. Okay, I want to give a picture of the driver. Your name again is?
Yes, hello. Eliab.
And we're at a 1955 Bel Air Chevrolet. And my tour guide is?
My name is Julia.
Julia, and she smokes a cigar.
Yes, I smoke a real Cuban cigar because I love to smoke a cigar.
And
now we are passed behind, we left behind the Capitol building. It's a copy of the Washington DC, and it was built from 1926 until 1929. But on the top, we have 5 centimeters higher than the Washington DC Capitol.
It's just a little bit taller than the one in the United States. Am I right?
Yes!
Of course.
We have a fraternity
yeah.
park. Look at the Bank Nova Scotia. Now the bank belongs to the government. In the right street, Obispo Boulevard, the pedestrian.
This car, by the way, is a 1955 Bel Air, so it's 1 year older than me. It's still running fine. Still running just fine.
An original engine.
Thank you.
Look at those buildings in front.
You know,
beautiful building.
I have an original engine too, Julia. The first order of business after a long day of travel is an ice-cold mojito, served with some Latin fusion music in a sidewalk cafe perfecto. Oh yeah, baby. That's righteous.
No. Échame la culpa, yo la cargo, corazón. Ya me estoy acostumbrando y no me molesta, no. Da otro golpe que me duela, ponte de mal humor. Al final siempre te enreda y se calienta.
Alabao, otra vez nos fuimos.
Empire building strategists will tell you that there are 3 ways to conquer a nation. You have to break them militarily, politically, and then you have to break the will of the people. I think the first two are relatively easy given the might of the United States, but I can tell you from bumping around Cuba that breaking the will of the people, I don't see it ever happening. Because, like Putin said about the North Koreans, they'll eat grass before they give up their nuclear weapons. I mean, I think what Americans don't understand about poverty, I think, is how far a people will go, how low they will go to retain their dignity and their self-respect and their courage. And you see it here. It's bombed out. But I'm telling you one thing, I mean, it's been, what, 70 years of an economic blockade against Cuba? We're nowhere close to breaking the will of these people. It isn't going to happen. We need a new strategy. And the same is true in Palestine, with what the Israelis are trying to break the will of the Palestinians, and what they're trying to do with all these countries where we have trade wars and economic blockades and all these things to try to, well, I will show them. We'll take away their orange mocha cappuccinos, and, you know, that'll make them suffer. Hey, the only one who suffers when he doesn't get his coffee is me. You know, down here, they'll do without it. Just saying. Hey everybody, hi there, Brant here, and if you've been following me on Instagram or Facebook, you know that I have been traveling a lot, which is why I haven't been Johnny on the YouTube videos, but I want to make a quick one now just to kind of let you know what's been going on. Mostly what's been going on is I've been heads down writing a book about my travels, which were instigated by a beautiful gift given to me last Christmas by my brother, who is a pilot with American Airlines. And he basically said, you've got a year to travel on American for $0. So I took off and I've been having a blast. I'm way behind on the videos, but I'm making good progress on the book. And if you're interested in reading sample chapters, just go to my Facebook page, Dance Past Sunset, and you'll see whenever I post a chapter, you can read a draft and make comments. Go Mobile is a production of Dance Past Sunset, my podcast and blog on ways older adults can enjoy peak life experiences well into and even past their sunset years. Go Mobile is for people like me who are culturally curious, environmentally sensitive, and on a budget. So if you like to travel like I do, then subscribe to this channel and keep an eye out for related news on my Facebook page, Dance Past Sunset, or at dancepastsunset.com. And thanks for watching.